Welcome, everyone, to the Fandom Podcast Network special presentation of Time Warp, Movies and Pop Culture. Let's see if it's working this time, part 2. In this episode of Time Warp, we're going to cover the year of pop culture, which includes movies, TV, music, notable news of 1996. The 1996 movies, pop culture, and events are all celebrating their 30th anniversary of this recording. Welcome to Time Warp 1996. In this episode, we are going to cover the pop culture and movies released in June of 1996. That is summer movie season for you right there. So welcome to Time Warp 1996 June. My name is Kevin. I'm going to be your host. I did want to let you guys know, this is Time Warp here on the Fandom Podcast Network. And if you're watching this live, please hit the QR code there. Take you to our website with all of our wonderful podcasts underneath the Fandom Podcast Network umbrella. I'd like to introduce my co-host for Time Warp here. Please, with me, as always, is the queen of movie food. Please welcome the lovely Lacey Adderhold. What's going on?
Hello. Not a lot. We're gonna get this done. We're gonna grab it and growl.
All right. Now I know you got a movie that you want to share with us shortly that was in last month, so we're going to get to that in a moment.
Yes.
But first, we need to bring in our other co-host here, co-founder of the Fandom Podcast Network, and my brother from another mother. Please welcome Mr. Kyle Wagner. What's up, buddy?
Kevin, I'm sorry I have to do this to you now. We're a little late because somebody forgot to press a button, and when you don't press a button, this is what happens.
That's what happens, yes.
Yeah,
It definitely happened.
That is what happens. You know what? I was running a little late. It's been a case of the Mondays around here, apparently, and we're all having a little bit of it. Like I said, I was running a little late from work because, again, as I reiterated before we actually hit the button, I was escaping from the Rock with the help of a cable guy. There might have been a Phantom involved, but I was running late because we got distracted because we stopped to get a Striptease.
Striptease, very good, very good. Very good. Now, Lacey, before we go any further, what movie did you, because you couldn't talk about it because the DVD arrived late. So what movie did you watch?
Yes. Okay. So I got, Flipper.
Flipper. That is the one with young Elijah Wood and the much older Paul Hogan. What's your thoughts on Flipper?
Flipper was super cute. It was it's kind of a Disney, definitely G-rated. I don't know if it might be PG on here, but it's PG. It's the young kid realizes that there's like a scoundrel in town dumping toxic waste because Flipper got sick. And it's cute. I mean, it's got a couple of little adult themes, like his mom's off doing things and he has to go live with his uncle for the summer kind of a thing.
Right.
But it's cute. Not sure how Elijah Wood and Paul Hogan are supposed to be uncle and nephew, but okay. Cool. So it was cute. And then I also watched the first season. I barely made it through the first season of Mad About You, and I was super excited about it. But it was complaint TV. All the humor.
Explain complaint TV.
Yeah, every single piece of humor was about a disagreement or a complaint about something, or why do they have to do that? Or have you ever noticed? Oh, it's all everything's
like every sitcom ever, though.
but this was like during that time where it was like Seinfeld and but see, with Friends, it's like situational fun, like random things happen, right? And it's all funny things and they have to get out of it. Like with Mad TV, it's like, I mean, in the first season, you find out that she cheated on him a week before they got moved in together, and it was just.
But you had to love Marie the dog.
The dog was cute, but I mean, other than that, and the fact that my boy Rick Rossovich showed up in the late first season, but and again, like Richard Kind was the funniest part of the whole thing because he didn't complain. He just did his thing. Like, he is Richard Kind and he's so funny and so sweet and adorable. But yeah, I don't know if I'm going to keep it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we did want to let you guys know we are doing 1996, of course, here for the movies and TV show. Recently, we, of course, did Time Warp for our NFL Raider players who acted in movies and TV. We also re-released our Buffy the Vampire Slayer Time Warp, our TV series retrospective. And we also talked about the movies of 1984. We were celebrating, of course, the 40th anniversary at the time. And last year, we discussed the movies of 1990 because they were all celebrating their 35th anniversary. And I wanted to mention that I watched a movie that we got that was on there, but I didn't have the DVD, and I found it, and it was called Prisoners of the Sun, but I think its original name was Blood Oath. It was an Australian war film that was taking place right after World War II, and there was some Japanese soldier officers that were put on trial for war crimes against prisoners of war, and George Takei was one of the Japanese soldiers that were on trial. But the DVD had Brian Brown on it. Of course, he's like a big Australian actor. He was in those TV movies or those movies FX, and a bunch of others. He was in Cocktail, of course, with Tom Cruise. And then it had Russell Crowe front and center. But Russell Crowe's in the movie for only like 2 seconds. It was so funny. It was kind of a boring film, but it was definitely a historical film because it was based on a true story, and it was pretty drama. I don't think I'll rewatch it, but I did want to bring it to the table though. So, but coming soon is 1996. We got everything going on for 1996 this year, guys. And if you have not already checked them out, go back and check out our last episodes, January through May. We did, and right now we are doing June of 1996. But first, guys, let's take a step back into time to 1996. Let's fuel up that DeLorean with a flux capacitor. Let's slingshot around the sun aboard a captured Klingon bird of prey, or take a step in that blue police box or phone booth. Step into that quantum leap accelerator, take a dip in that hot tub time machine as we travel back to 1990. We're going to remind you what was happening in pop culture, sports, politics, television, and of course the movies of 1996. And because this is the 90s, we also have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 Time Scepter to help us up to go back into time. All right, what were you doing in 1996, guys? Where were you? What was going on there? We got a lot of things happening in 1996. Of course, we're going to cover that. Of course, in the news, U.S. President Clinton approves the sale of $227 million of crude oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. U.S. gas prices are at their highest level in 5 years. I laugh at that right now. A gallon of milk is $2.73. Average house was about $165,000, and of course, an average gallon of gas was $1.23. And I forgot to mention this before, so I'll mention it now. 1996 was a leap year starting on Monday of the Gregorian calendar. And 1996 was designated as the International Year for the Eradication of Poverty. Still working on that. They're still working on that. But let's get into other timey-wimey stuff. All right, let's see here. We got the Jody Street. Thank you for checking back in here with us. I'll take the 1996 prices again. I think we all will, Jody. Definitely. Definitely. All right, so 1996. We had some sportsy stuff going on here. Fox Sports. Major League Baseball broadcasts debut on Fox. We got Atlanta Braves and the Cincinnati Reds. This was a big deal. Fox was making it already made its mark with like dramas and sitcoms and Simpsons, but now they were getting into sports, Kyle, and soon they started getting into the NFL.
I mean, we were talking, this is a huge deal because Fox Sports, like all of a sudden was like getting everything. NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, other things. About the only thing they didn't get was the NBA, but yeah, everyone was like, Fox was making a major move to become the fourth network. It was already kind of getting there, but it wasn't quite there yet. And it started getting into sports. And Kevin, I almost think that it's safe to say that probably by the end of the 90s, Fox wasn't just the fourth network. I'm willing to say they were probably the number 3 network because I think they surpassed ABC there for a while.
Or CBS, I think, or something. Yeah. NBC was still like king, but Fox was definitely like creeping in the top 3 there. So
nobody was going to take the number 1 spot from NBC at that point, based off their Thursday night lineups that they had going on.
This is true.
And you're talking peak Friends, peak ER, peak a lot of things for NBC at that point.
This is true. All right, here we go. Zenith introduces the first HD TV compatible front projection TV to the U.S. And these are like some of the first like big screen TVs. I had a version of this back in the early 2000s. And boy, that thing was cumbersome to move. I'll tell you that right now. But if you're looking over to the picture on the left, like they were from like $4,000 to $5,000 to $5,500. Pretty pricey at the time.
And I just want to say, if you bought that $5,000 TV, the way those projectors worked, you paid basically $1,000 a year for that, the lifespan of that TV. Because by about 5 years, you were like, I think I can see what's going on.
Yeah, I think the corners started to like gray out or do something like that.
And there was always like one pixel that was always like on someone's forehead, like when you'd watch, and the pixel would just be stuck and it would be a dead pixel.
The one thing that I missed about my rear projection big screen TV that I had was the picture-in-picture option that I had. Any TV I got after that, they just stopped doing that. And I really, really missed the picture-in-picture. So
mine has picture-in-picture. I have a picture-in-picture right now.
Oh, nice.
It's a Vizio.
But if you look at this, we have some podcasts here because Lacey Adderhold 8084 just said hi in the chat.
I logged in so I could say hi to Jody. I know I can, but I wanted to say hi in the chat as well.
Nice.
Jody does a Twitch, and he I try to log into his Twitches, and I sent him a text. I was like, "Hey, I'm podcasting, not live," and he was like, "I'm in." So, cool. So I just wanted to say hello and to do a little typey hello too.
Next, we have here in 1996 entertainment news and events at the World Wrestling Federation's pay-per-view event, King of the Ring, wrestler Stone Cold Steve Austin wins the King of the Ring tournament by defeating Jake Roberts. After the match, Austin makes a certain victory speech in what would famously become the Austin 316 catchphrase. Kyle, what was that?
The world of professional wrestling was never the same after this day. This is kind of like I was here on this day when this happened. If you're a wrestling fan, because when Austin 316 says, "I just kicked your ass," he
says, "I just whipped your ass."
Yeah, I just whipped your ass. Let me just put it this way. This is that time when WWE pay-per-views were on a Sunday night, so they were ending late, and this Austin 316 moment happened right at the end of the pay-per-view. The next night, WWE filmed their live show, Monday Night Raw, and you could not find a space to see faces because everybody had an Austin 316 sign made up. And it became, within like 48 hours, it was like one of the biggest selling shirts in history.
Gotcha. Wow. All right, guys, next here on Time Warp 1996 June, we have some toys and tech and product. Let's go ahead and check these out. We have Beast Wars, Transformers Beast Wars, guys. A new line of Transformers toys based on the animated series where characters transform into animals. The Beast Wars is an animated TV series that debuted September 16th, 1996 and ended on May 7th, 1999, serving as the flagship of the Transformers Beast War franchise. It was one of the earliest fully CGI television shows. The series is set in the future of the original Transformers franchise, 300 years after the events of the Transformers, and features the Maximals and Predacons, descendants of the Autobots and Decepticons, respectively. While engaging in battle, small teams from each faction crash land on an unknown planet must find their way to return home while continuing the war. Kyle, I was not into the Beast Wars, although their toys look pretty cool. Were you, sir?
It took me. The Beast Wars was something I got into going back because Beast Wars, the CGI at the time, it was rough. Let's be honest. We weren't anywhere near what we get for CGI these days. However, they did really tie in some Transformers lore that we discovered later on, and a lot of people went back to that, and it's brought us one of the more famous Optimuses in Transformers. Yes, Optimus Prime is still number one, but Optimus Primal, for a lot of people, is the number two Optimus Autobot, or in this case Maximal leader. And this is the interesting thing about Beast Wars, is it actually ended up transferring to another show called Beast Machines that lasted for a couple of seasons as well. And if you're a Beast Wars fan, the last live action Transformers movie had characters from Beast Wars in it.
Ah, okay. So there's some connective tissue there. Lacey.
Yeah. I got a dumb question. So I'm seeing like a scorpion and a beetle and some dinosaurs and like a hog and, maybe a rat of some sort, a gorilla. Do they change into machines?
No, they change into robot. Basically, the idea of Beast Wars was they were originally from the future of Cybertron, but they end up going back to the past before the Autobots and Decepticons were awakened after they crash land on Earth. Okay. And so, but because of something in the energy of Earth at the time, the only time if they went, they could only be in their robot mode for so long. They had to stay in their animal form, or they got what they called a spark freeze, and they couldn't move or anything like that. The gorilla was Optimus Primal. The T-Rex was Megatron.
Nice.
Well, the dragonfly or the fly looks really cool. And
there were some very cool designs. That was Wasp. Cool. The one you're looking at was Waspinator.
Oh, okay,
guys. Next we have some food here, guys. Remember Fuse chocolate bar? Fuse is a branded chocolate bar manufactured by Cadbury in India since 2016, but a different bar of the same name was produced by the UK between 1996 and 2006. Fuse was the subject of a large marketing campaign leading to the national rollout of the product on Fuse Day, Tuesday, September 24th, 1996. The British Fuse product was a 70% solid bar of milk chocolate, 30% sliced peanuts, raisin, crisp cereal, and fudge pieces suspended within it. Fuse was Cadbury's fastest-selling new chocolate bar since the launch of the Cadbury Wispa in 1983. The bar tested very well in research, with 82% rating it as an excellent, very good, and 83% proposing to purchase it regularly. Do you guys remember this bar?
I do, but did you just say September?
Yes.
Are we early?
No, I picked some of these out of order just to throw in each.
I was just making sure. I was like, it is June. Like, what? Yeah. My brain just went nuts. Yes, they're delicious. I love all the Cadbury things. The Cadbury makes me happy.
Nice.
Just from what you described, though, Kevin, with all the ingredients in it, are we sure it wasn't a frozen fudgy bar? I guess I'm bad because whenever I think Cadbury, I automatically go to Cadbury cream eggs.
It's basically like the fruit and nut bar with like a little added like Nestle's Crunch in it.
So, guys, digital cameras started happening. 1996, Sony CyberShot DSC-F1 digital camera. Sony launched its first digital camera. It had 1/3 a megapixel, 4 megabytes of built-in memory, a 1.8-inch screen, and a lens housing that could rotate 180 degrees for comfortable waist-level shooting or selfies. Of course, we didn't call them selfies then, did we?
You might have, Kevin. You are the king of the selfie.
I don't remember this product at all. I don't remember digital cameras until like maybe the 1999 or early 2000s and stuff. But I can't imagine the I don't know, the clarity on this is very good.
Oh, come on. It looks like it just gives you the same image as a GoPro would now. Come on now, Kevin.
The Jody Street says, now I want some chocolate.
Jody Street's not wrong. Lacey Idaho wants some chocolate too.
Yes. All right, guys. What do we got next here? All right. This is Time Warp 1996. Next, we are going to hit some music news. All right, guys. June 2nd, 1996, Alice Cooper performs at Sammy Hagar's club, Cabo Wabo in Mexico. It will be recorded and released the following year as a live album. I remember the album, the song Poison he released in, was it 89 or whatever it was? And it was like Alice Cooper's back, and like he's never left, Kyle.
Yeah. I have to ask a question. This might be something that you turn into a hair metal podcast at some point. Is Cabo Wabo in the top 3 of most important rock and roll clubs of all time?
Sort of. You could definitely Mexico. It could be up there for sure.
I mean, this could be a hair metal podcast. The most important rock and roll clubs.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, there's some good ones to put on there for sure. Yeah. All right, so here's the next one here, guys. June 15th and 16th, San Francisco holds the first Tibetan Freedom concerts. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Rage Against the Machine, Sonic Youth, Beck, Bjork, Yoko Ono, De La Soul, Fugees, Buddy Guy, the Skatalites, Beastie Boys, Smashing Pumpkins, Foo Fighters, A Tribe Called Quest, Pavement, Biz Markie, John Lee Hooker, Richie Havens, quite a lineup there. Different diversity too as well. I like that. So,
Yeah.
Yes, Lacey.
I just want to go back to the Alice Cooper thing really quick because I have a friend. I had a friend who had a dog named Alice Cooper. It was a little tiny Pomeranian, and when it would get out, he lived in Los Angeles, and he would have to run around the street yelling, like with all of his friends out in the yard, going, "Alice Cooper, Alice Cooper," and it was hilarious. So that's my reference for Alice Cooper. Like I have heard some music, but when you say Alice Cooper, I think of the dog.
Gotcha.
The only thing, it's an amazing lineup, but you have Buddy Guy on there, and now we know that anytime Buddy Guy is associated with anything, vampires are probably showing up.
I don't know who Buddy.
I get the reference, Kyle. Do you want to explain that to people?
Yeah. Of course, Buddy Guy was in the famous end scene of Sinners, playing the older version of the main character from Sinners. So,
okay, I have not seen Sinners yet, so I'm just going to ignore that.
Well, you don't know do you understand the music reference anyway? That's the other thing.
No.
All right, guys. June 21st, 1996. The Sex Pistols start their reunion tour in Lahti, Finland. More on that later for sure.
I love the photo. If you are on this listening, you should flip over and look at the photo because that's classic. Like,
a lot of you are wondering, like, oh, wait a minute, what about Sid Vicious? He's dead. Well, for those of you that don't know, they actually reunited with their original bass player that they replaced with Sid Vicious because the original bass player apparently wasn't punk enough. But yeah, and they made no qualms. They didn't hide the fact that they were doing it for money.
Yep.
And I saw this concert tour. I'll go into that later because that comes out later. Jay-Z on June 25th releases his debut album, Reasonable Doubt. And speaking of Van Halen and Sammy Hagar, Kyle, this is kind of sad. Sammy Hagar officially leaves Van Halen on June 26, 1996.
That was a sad day. And it was even sadder because then it brought in the Gary Sharon era of Van Halen, and we don't like to talk about that era of Van Halen.
Yes. Yeah. Now, this tour was huge, guys. I know because I went to one of the shows. June 28th, 1996, Kiss kicks off the Alive Worldwide Reunion Tour at Tiger Stadium in Detroit. The first tour by the original lineup and in full Kiss makeup and garb of the band since 1979. And that picture you see there on the right, that is my actual ticket where I saw this show at the Great Western Forum in Los Angeles with the band Stabbing Westward opening up. Kyle.
Wait, $35.01. Wow.
Yeah. Kiss, you know how much Kiss blew up with this concert tour for a whole new generation? This is about the time Todd McFarlane made the Kiss action figures. That in his line, there was a Kiss comic book again. There was all Kiss just like had a complete resurgence at this point.
Okay, so it's Paul Stanley, Peter Criss, Ace Frehley, and Gene Simmons.
Correct.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just throwing out that I have like the tiniest bit of music knowledge because I never know any music stuff. I'm very excited that I knew all four of their names.
That's impressive. And that was a really good show, too. That was what Kiss fans were waiting for forever. Yeah. And so they definitely put on a good show there. All right, guys. Next thing with music that we always like to talk about is the Billboard Hot 100 list. And we choose a few at a time for each show. And the ones we're going to be talking about this are number 60 down to 53. Starting with number 60, we have Hook by Blues Travelers. 59, Elevators, Me and You by Outkast. 58, Tell Me by Groove Theory. 57, Woo-Ha, Got You All in Check by Everything Remains Raw, Busta Rhymes. Wonderwall by Oasis. All the Things Your Man Won't Do by Joe. The Earth, the Sun, the Rain by Color Me Bad. And at number 53, Mouth by Meryl Bainbridge. I only know one of these songs. No, I know two. Kyle, do you recognize these songs? Remember these?
Okay, so the truth of the matter is Wonderwall tops all these, even if I'm not a huge fan of that song, but it's like the Oasis song, and we all know the Oasis history. But for me on this list, if there's a song I'm actually going to put in and listen to, the Hook brings me back. I love Blues Traveler. That would be the song I know on that. Kevin's giving me the shame.
Okay, let me tell you right now, Blues Traveler, whatever. They're one of the worst bands ever. You know why? Because no one asked for a harmonica solo in every freaking song. I'm sorry. My opinion only. Can't stand that band for that reason. Lacey.
I recognize 5 of the bands.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, 4 of the band. I know who Blues Traveler is, Outkast, Busta Rhymes, and Color Me Bad. Everything
the only
else
song I know by Color Me Bad is "Ooh, I Wanna Set You Up."
Yeah, I will say I know the Wonderwall thing because of the movie Yesterday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I saw that movie and I was like, I don't understand what I don't understand. Everyone cracked up, and so I made a note and called a friend and said, "What?"
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh."
There is one more Color Me Bad song because I Adore Me More.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Okay. All right, guys.
We got somebody saying, "Where's the Jim Blossoms and Sister Hazel at?" They're up on the list. We will get to those in a bit, Nintendo.
Cool.
All right. Next, coming up, we got some more fun stuff. All right, let's talk some television from 1996, guys. And someone started their show, and it lasted for quite a while here, guys. That is the Rosie O'Donnell Show. Ran from 1996 to 2002. 1,991 episodes of Rosie O'Donnell Show. The show was huge. Really, really huge. And I know she always kept talking about Tom Cruise. I remember that. She got a lot of stars on the show. It was a big deal for a while.
Love Rosie O'Donnell. Love her so much. Love all the things, all of the movies, all the things. Particularly, I love her social media currently, where she lives in Ireland and just bashes politics in the United States right now, which I find to be absolutely hilarious. She's amazing. Love her so much.
Nintendo says, "But Kyle, you took that away. I wanted to read it."
Mm-hmm.
Daytime TV was peak in the 90s.
Yes, it was. Thank you,
Yeah.
Nintendo. Appreciate you very, very much for chiming in there. And guys, thank you again. If you're watching us live, please feel free to share your thoughts on the chat here. So,
I just gotta say too, I love the name Nintendo.
Right?
During Rosie O'Donnell's show run, Rosie O'Donnell toned down her usual sharp tongue to the point where she was called the Queen of Nice by the media. She appreciated the attention, but her return to stand-up comedy after leaving the show also meant the return of her harsher attitude.
Oh, yes.
Yes. All right. Now we're going to talk about what, Lacey?
She's got a mouth on her, but I love it.
She does. Yeah. Yep. Now we're going to talk about some notable television shows that are ending, guys. And these two were big, especially this next one for me personally, because whenever someone always says, which TV shows do you wish weren't canceled? You know, that you could have seen another season. And usually Firefly is up there at the top, and people can name some other of their favorites.
I think I might know this.
But the one that I really, 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 really needed to see more of was Space Above and Beyond. I freaking love this show. Only ran for one season, 23 episodes. The Earth is embroiled in a desperate war against alien invaders, and in this series focuses on one squadron of Marine pilots involved in this. Creators were Glenn Morgan and James Wong. Stars Morgan Weiser, Kristen Cloak, Rodney Rowland, and James Morrison. Kyle, I believe I've got some trivia there. You want to hit that up for us here?
Yeah, but let's remember one thing. What network was this show on?
Fox. Stupid Fox canceling good shows. They were so infamous for this. It's sad. It really.
I mean, this is pre-Firefly, so they were doing some stuff here. But yeah, a little bit of trivia. Full-scale models of the Hammerhead fighters used in the series were created in Australia at an RAAF base, Williamtown. During an interview, showrunner Glenn Morgan claimed that while they were being stored on board the freighter before shipping, crewmen from a Russian freighter were caught taking pictures of them after mistakenly thinking they were a new kind of advanced U.S. tactical fighter. Show star Kristen Cloak and creator Glenn Morgan met on set. They got married in 1998 and had 4 children, so they're at least starting their own group of Space Marines.
Now, I'm trying to remember. It's been a while since I've watched this show, Kyle, but one of the characters in this film, which I think was played by Rodney Rowland, I think he was enhanced, or there was something different that was about him. So he was kind of an outcast for a little while, if I remember correctly. There was something different about him. Do you remember this?
I remember, but it's been a long time since I've watched the show. What I do know about this show, this was actually a show that was well ahead of its time in science fiction. This show was out anytime in the last 10 years is a huge success.
Yeah. We've got Shintendo says getting a greenlit pilot on Fox was definitely an albatross. That's funny. That's a good point.
Yes.
Lacey, do you remember this show, Space Above and Beyond?
Yes, I do. I remember it being on. I feel like we watched it. I don't know. I don't remember it. Do you know what I mean? Like I remember it being on. I just don't know that I remember the actual content of the show.
Kevin, remind me too, because I believe this show had one of the ultimate horrible science fiction curses. They aired it on a Sunday.
Yeah, maybe because they were trying. Remember, keep in mind they always launch new shows on Sunday anyway because they had strong shows to that were back to back. Like I think it was The Simpsons and Married with Children or something like that. Yeah. So whenever they wanted to start something new, they would put it in that Sunday night block to keep the viewers watching these and stuff.
Well, and also, on Sunday, traditionally, at least in the 90s still, was when, people would be, they'd go to, in the Bible Belt at least, you got your Sunday's family day. So everyone's, already at the house. They've had the church or the Sunday lunch or whatever with the family, and they're going to sit down after dinner and watch some TV.
Yeah. Sorry, Lacey. Shintendo mentions, didn't they shuffle the dates on that one? Yeah. Fox advanced in this. First, it was shuffling the dates, and then they actually would start shuffling the episode order, aka Firefly.
Yeah,
yeah. I have my original DVD collection here, though. I'm proud of this one. I think it's time for a rewatch, especially since we're celebrating the 30th anniversary of this.
Very cool.
Again, it ended on a cliffhanger, which unfortunately is that a lot of these do, and it was getting so good at the whole season was great, but the tension was building towards the end because part of the thing was that if I remember correctly, they didn't have a lot of, like, they weren't in contact with the enemy a lot, so like they didn't like capture any, but then it came to a point to where it was coming to that, and it was such a great show. I really, really missed this, and the cast was just phenomenal.
I do plan to watch it relatively soon. That's one of the few properties that is in the military sci-fi media track for Dragon Con, which I'm a part of, that I haven't seen. So we will, and I'm sure they're probably doing a couple of panels on this. If it's
I would totally do a limited podcast series on that show. It's great.
Nice, right on.
Tendo says it was a great sci-fi show along with so many others from that time. Yep. 90s was great for sci-fi, so yeah. Now here's one I know that is near and dear to Kyle's heart here, and that is SeaQuest DSV from it started in 1993 and it ran for 57 episodes. In the early 25th century, mankind has colonized the oceans. United Earth Oceans Organization enlists Captain Nathan Bridger and the submarine SeaQuest DSV to keep the peace and explore the last frontier on Earth. Of course, the creator was Rockne S. O'Bannon. Of course, Farscape creator. Stars Jonathan Brandis, rest in peace, Roy Scheider, Michael Ironside, Peter DeLuise, Don Franklin, Ted Raimi, and of course, Darwin the Dolphin. Kyle, you got some trivia for us.
I can give you some trivia. I just want to say SeaQuest does hold this kind of soft place in my heart. I liked it up until they kind of did a whole reworking when they brought in Michael Ironside. But yeah, it does have a soft place in my heart. But I got some trivia here. During the original broadcast of the first season, during the end credits, Robert Ballard of Woods Hole Institute would appear and speak about an aspect of current undersea research usually related to the content of that episode. Ballard was also the technical advisor for the show and the discoverer of the wrecks of Titanic, Bismarck, and Yorktown, and someone who really had been in the ocean's depths. Roy Scheider disliked the direction of the show in the second season, gearing it towards more heavy science fiction elements, and requested to be released from his contract. NBC partially obliged, requiring him to appear in only 3 third-season episodes.
That's when Michael Ironside came in as the commander.
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest with you. I like SeaQuest when it felt more like undersea Star Trek than when they turned it into more of a military science fiction kind of thing. Now, don't get me wrong, they also brought in the DeLuise brothers when they changed that over, and I'm always a fan of seeing them on my TV. But that first season of SeaQuest I thought was very enjoyable, very Star Trek feel to it, and I actually love the design of the ship, of the SeaQuest, which again they changed for the third season. But I mean, I think when we go back and look at Sequest, the two things we remember are Darwin and Jonathan Brandis.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah. I remember. I think I lost it on its third season, I think, but I definitely watched the first full season. It was fun. It was Star Trek underwater. It was really, really cool. So yeah, but it took place in the near future, though, didn't it?
Yeah, I think it was like at the time it was like 2032 or something like that.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get into our top rated television programs. We pick a few at a time. We had the top 30. We're sharing the top 30 shows from 1996. And the next three that we're going to discuss, we're going to start off with The Drew Carey Show. Ran for 233 episodes. And of course, a sitcom about Drew's personal and professional life. Drew is an assistant director of personnel in a Cleveland department store where he's been stuck there for 10 years. Other than fighting with his coworker Mimi, his hobbies include drinking beer and not being able to get dates. He makes a few extra bucks as he has a microbrewery going in his garage with his buddies. Of course, creators are Drew Carey and Bruce Helford. Stars Drew Carey, Dietrich Bader, Kathy Kinney, Ryan Stiles, Krista Miller, and Craig Ferguson. Kyle, give us some trivia on Drew Carey.
We can give you some. So pay it forward. When the initial ratings came back for the TV show, they were so good that the production company bought Carey a Porsche 911. Carey went back to the studio later and shouted, "Who here has the worst car?" One of the crew said he didn't have a car. Carey threw him the keys to his Miata.
Before you go any further, Shintendo says Craig Ferguson was great in that. I think that's the first time I remember seeing Craig. He was good in that.
One of the best things to come out of the Drew Carey Show was this, though. During filming the series, Ryan Stiles introduced Drew Carey to the British show Whose Line Is It Anyway? Carey was so impressed that he pitched an American remake of it to the ABC network. ABC greenlit it, and Whose Line Is It Anyway in 1998 was created. I love that version of Whose Line Is It Anyway? It really was a lot of people from the Drew Carey Show and friends of his from his stand-up and things like that. That was more fun to me than the actual Drew Carey Show.
I watched this show. I don't know if I remember finishing it or not, but there was two episodes that I remember. The one where he gets the Batmobile, I think from like either Batman Forever or whatever it was. And then the one where they're putting a band together and they have all these famous guitarists, including Slash, show up and like audition for it, but they were all too good to be in the
band. Drew Carey almost made it a good thing to be from Cleveland. I say almost.
Yeah. I love that opening Cleveland Rocks song. I thought that was great. That was very cool. So yeah. All right, guys. The next show that was very popular was Dateline. It started in 1996 and is still continuing. Very, very popular news show there. And that has Lester Holt now and Keith Morrison and Andrea Canning, and Jane Pauley was also on there as well. And the other show that I don't remember watching this at the time, but apparently it was popular, another Cosby show called Cosby, ran from 1996 to 2000 for 95 episodes. And Cosby's character was Hilton Lucas, was forced by his employer to retire. His wife has trouble with him always being at home, and so does he. Stars Bill Cosby, Felicia Rashad, Doug E. Doug, and Madeline Kahn. Kyle, you got us some trivia here for us on this Cosby
show. I do. I just want to say I do remember this Cosby show because I remember how big a deal CBS made it for the reuniting Felicia Rashad and Bill Cosby. But I also like Doug E. Doug as a young actor coming up, and I liked him in this show. Unfortunately, we have other issues with Bill Cosby. But yeah, I do have a little trivia here. Originally, Thelma Hopkins was cast as Ruth, but Bill Cosby gave the role to Felicia Rashad. Some believe it was in hopes of recapturing the magic of the original Cosby show, but it was because Hopkins didn't react well to Cosby's tendency to ad-lib. Madeline Kahn, who played Pauline, died in 1999. A special episode was written devoted to her where the entire cast talked about her and her character. Selected clips of Madeline's character on the show were played, as well as introducing the famous scene where she talks to Hilton about death.
Yeah, I don't remember this show. I didn't watch it, but apparently it was popular. Of course, before he started getting into trouble.
Yeah, that was exactly when he was in trouble. He was just getting away with it.
Yeah.
Shintendo brings up from the Drew Carey Show, Adam West and Burt Ward were in a handful of episodes.
Oh God, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, good stuff. All right. Marching on through 1996 here on Time Warp, the Fandom Flashback show on the Fandom Podcast Network. We got some celebrity birthdays, celebrities that were born in 1996. And in June, we have a few here. We have Lacey Jane, a pro wrestler. We have Cody Lohan, actor in Living Lohan. I think probably knows Lindsay Lohan. Claudia Lee, an actress, and Lily Pons, also another actress and YouTuber. So not a lot of June birthdays here, but there we go. We also said goodbye to a few people in 1996. We said goodbye to Ray Combs, host of The Family Feud. I remember this guy. He died kind of young, too. He was only 40 years old when he passed away, but one of the early hosts of The Family Feud. Vito Scotti, the character actor. He was also in Gilligan's Island. He passed away. And the famous Mel Allen died at age 43. He was a sports commentator for your New York Yankees.
Of course, you have a terrible picture for Vito Scotti.
I just have to say this real quick because it's actually, I think it ties into kind of the 90s here too. I guess got to give a quick shout out to Gene Shalit, who passed away just recently at 100. But he was like still one of the more epic movie reviewers and more important movie reviewers in his time in the 90s, especially for like the Today Show.
Yeah, the NBC always had that iconic hair and big mustache and stuff like that. Yeah. I forgot he was still alive until he just recently passed away. He was 100, so good for him. That's awesome. We also have some celebrity film debut. Oh, yes, Lacey?
Just FYI, Tom Holland was born in June of 1996.
That's weird. Did I miss that?
I mean, just throw it because I didn't recognize any of those folks.
I got to double check that one.
Was he in June of 1996? Are you sure?
That's what it says here. Tom Holland.
Yeah. Yep, June 1st, 1996.
There we go. Well, thank you for catching my boo-boo there.
Let's pull. No, I mean, it's all good. I was like, I know that. I knew it was June or July because they were just talking.
Honestly, he feels younger, so that's part of it too.
Right?
All right, good catch there, Lacey. Appreciate that.
30. Wow.
All right, celebrity film debuts, guys. We like to celebrate some actors that got their first acting gig in movies. We had Eddie Izzard in The Secret Agent. We had Mila Kunis in Santa and the Muscles, Kelly MacDonald in Trainspotting, and Heike McTash in Jailbirds, and Feli Martinez in Thesis. I recognize definitely a few of those there. Eddie, Mila, and Kelly MacDonald. So. All right. Well, guess what, guys? It's time for the movies. All right. Now, this is the movie segment. This is what we all been waiting for, guys. This is Time Warp 1996, June. Your movies made in June. And we got a good one to start off with here, guys. We got The Phantom, made just over $17 million in its original theatrical run. The Phantom, a descendant of a line of African superheroes, travels to New York City to thwart a wealthy criminal genius from obtaining 3 magic skulls, which could give him the secret to ultimate power. Directed by Simon Windsor, stars Billy Zane, Christy Swanson, Treat Williams, Catherine Zeta-Jones, James Remar, and Kariyuki Tagawa. Kyle, give us some trivia on The Phantom. Lacey, let's show off our physical media.
Billy Zane pumped iron for over a year to fill the Phantom's costume. A Batman-like costume with fake muscles was reportedly made, but by the time filming started, Zane was so beefed up he did not need it. He was a huge fan of the Phantom, having been introduced to the comic while filming Dead Calm in 1989. Zane also called this his personal favorite film he's made. The Palmer Mansion set is actually the real-life Playboy mansion owned by Hugh Hefner.
So Shintendo says The Phantom is so underrated. I'm going to comment on that in a moment because you're not wrong. And also says Billy Zane is one of the best character actors of all time.
He also says he needs your Blu-ray.
Lacey, how many Blu-rays do you have of The Phantom?
Okay, so I have 3. I have the original Blu-ray that I got signed by Billy at Huntsville. No, Fanboy Huntsville.
Hold that up there. Let me see that.
One of the conventions I've been to. I met him. I met him first at Fanboy in like 2018, I think, and then I think I met him at the second time was at Huntsville.
Gotcha.
And he was so great. I actually have a picture taken with him, but I forgot to bring it downstairs. But yeah, so the cool part is that he drew the little skull.
Well, very cool.
So he drew the skull. And then I have the one that you have, which is the Kino Lorber re-release, which has the commentary. The original, this one does not have the commentary. So we got the new commentary and a couple of fun little special features on this one. And then because I just got curious, I have not seen this one yet, but this is the rebooted Phantom from 2010. Which I haven't watched yet, but I figured I'd show it because it's
Who's in that? Who's in that?
Ryan Carnes and Isabelle Rossellini.
Oh, I have not heard of that version. That's cool. All right. Well, cool.
I will say that when I met Billy Zane, first of all, he smells like spices, which is just delicious. And secondly, he is 100% down to do a passing of the torch in a Phantom reboot. And also I have my little Funko Pop, which I love.
Nice.
I love the Phantom. The Phantom and the Shadow are my two like big, like old school, like pulp comic book favorites.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just wanted to. So I got that Kino Lorber one, but I decided to also do the Lacey DVD Blu-ray double feature, and then of course I like this cover a lot. So I know it has a reversible cover as well, but I decided to do that, and I think I kept the DVD slipcover. I just kind of like trimmed it down, but I just want to say I had not seen this one. What's that, Lacey?
I just love that it says "Slam Evil."
Yeah, I hadn't seen this movie in a long time, and so I kind of forgot. I remember liking it when I saw it. Like I think I rewatched it like about 10 or 15 years ago.
Yeah,
and I decided to upgrade it, and I'm really glad that I did because it's such a. What I really like about this movie is it feels like between a superhero movie and an Indiana Jones movie. Yeah, I love it because they have the artifacts they're going after. They got an evil person searching for the artifacts, and there's a lot of adventure and action to it. Some great set pieces. Treat Williams was great as the villain. I loved him in there. Catherine Zeta-Jones as the evil sidekick. James Remar is one of the evils as well. He was great in this. It was just a fun adventure film, and I kind of it kind of feels that Indiana Jones like part a little bit. I like that. And it was fun to go to. And there's a new interview with Billy in this as well. And he had a fun time talking about it. And I think he might have mentioned something about wanting to kind of like return to it, whether passing the torch or whatever, because different people can become the Phantom later on, as you kind of learned about that in the movie. It was just, and the adventure set pieces were really, really fun. Highly recommended fun movie you haven't seen in a while. Kyle, your thoughts on Slam Evil, the Phantom?
The Phantom comes out at an interesting time for comic book related movies because we were kind of in this weird phase where nobody was really, outside of Batman, nobody was really trying to tackle a comic book movie because they just felt like, we can't get these right. That was kind of the feeling. The Phantom, what's so interesting about the Phantom is it's a comic book character, but he's got such a long history. He's been around for forever. And like you said, Kevin, they kind of mix him up like an Indiana Jones Tarzan superhero with his powers, the way he is. What's even more interesting is a little bit before this time, a lot of people got introduced to the Phantom from a very popular syndicated cartoon called Defenders of the Earth, which was the Phantom, Mandrake the Magician, Flash Gordon, and a couple of other characters fighting Ming the Merciless. And that show actually was very popular for a while. And that's what introduced the Phantom to a lot of kids. So it made them interested in this movie. Of course, you mentioned it earlier, too. You had the different characters from this era of comics that weren't the Marvel or DC characters coming out at this time. Yep, Nintendo said all the Kingfisher comics.
Oh, yeah.
The sad part is I don't know if they would do this in modern day with the way Marvel and DC films are now. I don't know I think the Phantom could be done very cool. I just don't know if they'd be willing to do it because they don't feel as popular a character as the Marvel and DC things. This is going to be something that I could see like an Amazon or a Netflix doing. I just don't know if a major studio would pick it up and put it in the theaters at this point.
Yeah, I think you could do a reboot of this at a minimal price and really make the most of it, especially if they give it to a good director and stuff. And yeah, bring Billy back. Let him kind of pass the torch, in a flashback or something. Because I like the lore and the history of the Phantom and the ring and all that kind of stuff. And Shintendo says Spider Noir gives me hope. Yeah, there you go. Thanks for checking in there, Shintendo. We appreciate it. If you're also watching this live, feel free to join Shintendo in the chat. We appreciate that. But it was just a really good fun adventure film, and I forgot how much fun it was. Highly recommended. So, all right, continuing with the summer movie season, we got The Rock. The Rock. All right, guys, I got some thoughts about this one. The Rock. Okay, so The Rock made some money. It made over $336 million in its original theatrical run. An FBI chemical weapons expert and a former SAS soldier turned political prisoner must break into Alcatraz prison when a rogue military group led by a renegade general take it over and threaten a nerve gas attack on San Francisco. Directed by Michael Bay, starring Sean Connery, Nick Cage, Ed Harris, Michael Biehn, William Forsythe, John Spencer, and Vanessa Marcel. Kyle, give us some trivia on The Rock.
Okay, before I give any trivia, though, I have to address one thing in the room. This is a James Bond movie. Period. End of story. We'll discuss it more after I get.
I have thoughts about that.
So, some trivia. There were tensions during shooting between director Michael Bay and Walt Disney Studios executives who were supervising the production. Wait, Michael Bay had tensions with executives? No, that never happens. On the commentary track for the Criterion Collection DVD, Bay recalls a time when he was preparing to leave the set for a meeting with the executives and was approached by Sir Sean Connery in golfing attire. Connery, who had also produced this movie, asked Bay where he was going, and when Bay explained that he had a meeting with the executives, Connery asked if he could accompany him. Bay complied, and when Bay arrived in the conference room, the executives' jaws dropped when they saw Connery appear behind them. According to Bay, Connery then stood up for him and insisted that he was doing a good job and should be left alone. Yeah, when James Bond's got your back, you're good. The premiere of the movie was held in the prison recreation yard on Alcatraz. I remember that. And producers Don Simpson and Jerry Bruckheimer, which will tell you there was a lot of cocaine on the set of this movie, plus it was a Michael Bay film, had decided they were going to dissolve their partnership when the production of this movie finished, mostly due to Bruckheimer's taking issue with Simpson's drug abuse problems. Simpson, however, died of drug abuse-related heart failure before the movie was released, and the movie was dedicated to him. Yeah.
All right, Kyle, because you touched on it, and I have thoughts about this. Let's first of all talk about the so-called fan connection to James Bond.
Yeah, this is a James Bond movie. There's not even a question. Sean Connery is playing James Bond, an older James Bond in this film. They don't say it, but it is. Come on, he's too cool. He's too spot on, and it's Sean Connery. This was Michael Bay. This is Michael Bay's excuse to do a James Bond film, which to many people is the greatest James Bond of all time.
Who signed your copy of The Rock, the Criterion Collection, Lacey?
I was Michael Bay's driver for the Huntsville.
Michael Biehn?
Yes. It was a very strange situation. I was supposed to run a certain department, and the number 2 for the convention got sick, like violently ill. Like she had that when that flu was going around. Right. And so they're like, hey, you aren't going to freak out at people if you meet them. So we're going to let you pick everybody up from the airport. So I got to pick him up. We got stuck in traffic. We talked for like 2 hours. It was fantastic. Lovely man. So yes, Shintendo, Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo is what it's called. I saw that in the chat. He asked, or somebody asked if it was Huntsville, Alabama. So yes.
Your thoughts on The Rock then, Lacey?
The Rock is fantastic. My favorite. Okay, this has a huge cast, like insane.
Huge.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and like getting down, like David Morse, William Forsythe, Michael Biehn, Vanessa Marcel, John C. McGinley, John Spencer, Tony Todd, Bokeem Woodbine.
Hold on, John Spencer is the guy that Sean Connery can't stand and tries to kill in the hotel, right?
Yeah.
He's the one that knows all the secrets about him being in prison, right? John
Yes, I have
stuff to say about that, so go ahead.
Yeah, Danny Nucci, Claire Forlani, so many people. But my very favorite line in the entire film was uttered by a lovely young comedian named Anthony Clark, who said, "All I want to know is, do you like your haircut?" It's the best line in the. I understand there's a lot of like kind of hoo-ah lines, right? Like, one-liners where they just drop it and it's awesome. Yeah. That is the funniest thing I have ever seen. I cracked up. I love it.
Kyle, any more thoughts on The Rock?
Oh, I have several thoughts I need to get out there, but I got to give Nintendo credit. Tony Todd's Rocket Man scene, unintentionally hilarious.
Yes.
Okay. First of all, we have to admit that Nick Cage is responsible for two of the greatest action films of the 1990s. This and Con Air.
Yep.
Those are
whoa, hold on. Whoa. Face Off as well.
Face Off as well, but
3.
But let me put it this way. As good as Face Off is, and I love Face Off, I think when you think Nick Cage action movies, most people go to this and Con Air. And
I think they go Con Air first, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because of the mullet and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And Cyrus
he's the lead star. He's the big marquee star.
I'll go like with Con Air and The Rock, they were ensemble pieces, like giant, like huge ensembles.
Yeah.
Face Off was two guys arguing,
I also just want to say, I believe this is Michael Bay's best action film.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go Bad Boys 2. Sorry.
That's there too.
Bad Boys 2 is a masterclass in action. That movie is so damn good. But I want to get back to The Rock here because I'm gonna put some holes in the James Bond thing here.
Okay.
And I'll explain.
I
like the concept that he's a James Bond that got put in jail and he spent some time with The Rock and he escaped. Blah blah blah. Going into this movie, I looked up and I read up on this. Like, yeah, this is James Bond. This is, this totally could fit and blah, blah, blah. Okay, and I want to give it. Nintendo says Nick Cage is even great in bad movies. So when you let him cook, it's a good movie. It is. Good stuff there. So here's the thing. If he is James Bond, what you have to do is you have to look at the timeline of the James Bond movies that he did and the time and the year that they actually came out. And I'm going to put the holes in this. It doesn't work. The math does not math. If you look at the years that he did those movies, because they're all set at a certain time of the world, and they always take place, they don't take place in the past when they came out. Now they do when you watch it, of course. And this is if you don't count Never Say Never Again. Even if you did, when you talk about the John Spencer character, talking about the history of this character that he plays in The Rock and the time that he spent in jail and he was monitored, he cannot be James Bond. So the math doesn't math. If you watch the movie and you pay attention to the time frame that he was actually James Bond, the James Bond movies, he is not the same guy. I said it.
Are you going to give us the numbers? Because I feel like there were numbers involved with that math. How long was he saying?
Look at the dates that the movie came out, the time of the movie came out. He was in jail for over 30 years.
Okay.
It doesn't match up with the math. James Spencer says it in the movie. If the movie came out in 96, it's supposed to probably take place in 95, 96, if you want to go with that time frame. He's in jail. It does not compute.
I'm sorry. I'm going to throw a little hole in your holes. They sent him to The Rock because no other jail could hold him. So he could have been in it. He could have been arrested on American soil several times and made all these.
We don't know that. It's not said that.
It does.
He's been incarcerated for so long that he could not have done those James Bond stuff. To watch the movie and look at the time, especially with what the John Spencer character says, the math doesn't math.
Nintendo's got it right down here on screen, Kevin.
He says he's old. He got the dates wrong. Leave him alone.
Oh, that's amazing.
I stand corrected. That's funny. Good stuff there, Nintendo. I love that.
Great. That's good.
Anyway, great action movie. Boy, it was fun to return to.
Nice.
All right, this movie here next made history for a particular reason. The Cable Guy. Cable Guy made just over $102 million in its original theatrical run. Mm-hmm. Steven has a new apartment and decides to slip the Cable Guy, Chip, $50 for free cable. Steven then fakes an interest in Chip's line of work. However, Chip takes it to heart, trying to become Steven's best bud. When Steven no longer wants to be Chip's friend, the man who can do all goes in all-out assault to ruin Steven's life. Directed by Ben Stiller, stars Jim Carrey, Matthew Broderick, Leslie Mann, Jack Black, Ben Stiller, and George Segal. Kyle, give us some trivia here. This made history for a particular reason.
Yeah, it's called Jim Carrey was getting paid because he was paid $20 million for his work in this film, the highest payday for an actor in Hollywood at the time. While Ferris Bueller, Matthew Broderick, was only paid about $2 million. When Jim Carrey was negotiating his $20 million salary for the film, he insisted that his attorney and two managers all wear Ace Ventura robes so not to lose their sense of perspective. This film was originally pitched to Columbia Pictures with Chris Farley as the lead, but a sudden contractual obligation to another film forced him to decline the role.
Shintendo says, I still want to go to Medieval Dinner Theater because of this place. You're not wrong. That put a lot of attention on those. I remember going to a few. They're fun. Okay, so Kyle, what are your thoughts on The Cable Guy?
I enjoyed it, but for me, it's not a movie I can return to a lot. It's very dark humor. Carrey, you see a side of Jim Carrey that you see later on in some of his roles, where he can be pure evil, and it's a little scary to be actual about it. But yeah, I think the biggest issue with this movie is, while it's a great movie and you should see it, I don't think it has a lot of rewatchability afterwards.
Interesting. Lacey, you're holding up the Blu-ray there. I have the DVD. Your thoughts on The Cable Guy?
Okay, I will say that I believe this was Ben Stiller's second film after Reality Bites.
Yes.
This was Tom Shadyac producing, which is, of course, from Ace Ventura. He was, so I think that it is basically it's a comedy version of an unsettling conversation, right? Like, this is a stalker situation. This is a dangerous situation. They made it funny, which is something that like the Farrelly brothers do and that kind of stuff. So it is fun. I will say Jack Black is my favorite part of this movie. The commentary, by the way, is with Jim Carrey and Ben Stiller and Judd Apatow, not Tom Shadyac. So yeah, Judd Apatow, Ben Stiller, and Jim Carrey do the commentary. And it's a fun commentary. The movie itself it's entertaining, but for certain things, but the whole concept of it feels a little dangerous and a little bit dated, just because in today's day and age,
this movie doesn't get made.
Yeah. Or if it does, it's a horror movie.
Yeah.
Right. But I do love Leslie Mann. This is where Judd Apatow met Leslie Mann. And after her audition, he said, I'm going to marry that woman. And he did. So that's awesome. Porno Password might be the best thing about this movie.
The best thing about this movie for me was Ben Stiller playing the Menendez-style brother killer on trial, and you saw the highlights. I want to see that movie, and I'm going to be honest with you, that is the movie that we should have seen. I remember seeing this movie in the theater, and I was put off by it. It's not what I wanted to see from The Cable Guy. I didn't find it funny at all then, and after rewatching after all these years, I don't find it now. And they call it a black comedy. Mm-hmm. But this is not what I wanted to see from a $20 million salary for Jim Carrey. I've seen him do other stuff that's a little weird and offbeat. I remember Me, Myself, and Irene was a little weird, but I honestly think from all the Jim Carrey movies I've seen, this is his worst movie. And I can't rewatch this movie again. It's just not a fun movie. It's uncomfortable. And it's very sad. It really is. And I think it should be better if he actually died in the end. You thought he doesn't. But this is just, it's not a fun movie. Ben Stiller should have done a movie about his character in there, because that would have been a lot more entertaining.
I got to though give Nintendo credit, and I think he's right. It is an iconic film for a lot, just for the history it made, and for a lot of people, it's one of them carries more identifiable roles in films. And I mean, and it might just come, The Majestic is not a good movie. It might just come down to the fact of how he introduced himself as the cable guy that got stuck in the lexicon of so many people's heads just from that alone. But yeah, I agree. I mean, like I said, I agree with you, Kevin. This is not a rewatchable movie. This is a depressing movie.
I think this also pissed off a lot of people, because then like cable company people were like, yeah, you can't, you're going to get fired if you get $50 and try to give people free cable. Don't do that. Yeah. That was like the secret. That was the thing you did. You weren't supposed to tell people about it, but you did it anyway. And then they made a freaking movie about it. So,
right.
Yeah. I will not be returning to this movie. So there you go. All right. Next is a movie called Stealing Beauty, made just over $4.5 million in its original theatrical run, from famous director Bernardo Bertolucci. After her mother commits suicide, a young woman travels to Italy in search of love, truth, and a deeper connection with herself. Stars Jeremy Irons, Liv Tyler, Carlo Cecchi, I think it is Cecchi, and also the what's her name? The wife is the wife in The Mummy.
Rachel Weisz.
Rachel Weisz, she's in it as well. Kyle, give us some trivia on Stealing Beauty.
So this was Liv Tyler's first leading role. She was 17 years old when she was playing in this movie. It was filmed in May 95. The subplot of Lucy setting out to uncover the identity of her biological father actually mirrors Liv Tyler's own life. In an interview, the actress stated she didn't know Aerosmith frontman Steven Tyler was her real father throughout her childhood, having been raised by Todd Rundgren, whom she had thought was her father. When she was 8, she found out that the Aerosmith singer was her real father.
I remember that. That was big news. And when you look at her, you can tell.
Yeah.
Lacey and I both have the same DVD there. I think I ordered mine on Amazon or eBay. I can't remember. But I couldn't find this streaming anywhere, so I had to purchase it. Lacey, since you've got the DVD, what are your thoughts on Stealing Beauty?
This was a sweet little movie. It is it's definitely an Italian film. It's definitely, European. It's definitely got that lazy days, and it seems like her virginity is the topic of discussion for literally everyone in the film. They just chat about it for the bulk of the film, which is just random. But I will say, between this and Reversal of Fortune and Jeremy Irons, but Jeremy Irons is like a super creepy actor. Like, he gives good creepy actor. What's the one about him and the
Damages?
Girl? No, the 13-year-old girl. Lolita.
Oh yeah.
So between Lolita and this, he's a super creeper, and then add Reversal of Fortune into it, and he's so good as a bad guy. The Lion King. He was the best bad guy. Anyway, he did kind of steal a little bit of this movie for me. And then D.W. Moffat, as Rachel Weisz's boyfriend, was I had never seen him. I thought I only know him from that ABC family show, Switched at Birth. I didn't realize. I thought he was just like a cool dad actor who just popped into like the Disney TV. I had never looked back at his history, and he was great in this. So that's cool.
Nice. Kyle, have you seen this film?
Actually, I'll be honest with you. I guess this is one I have not seen. There's not exactly something I'm going out to hunt as much as I love Liv Tyler.
I'd never seen this film before, and it was kind of interesting because while I was watching this, last year I recently watched Under the Tuscan Sun for the first time, and location vibes were giving me the same thing, with Diane Lane living nearby and stuff. I thought it was okay. I was kind of surprised that we got to see some nudity in this with a little Rachel Weisz action, and Liv Tyler showing a little bit as well. And there was also some Wang showing in some scenes as well, when they were swimming and stuff. So you got a little bit of both sides there. That was kind of cool.
It was filmed in Italy. There's a lot of parts just dangling. In Italian. Bertolucci is not shy. That's the thing about, when it comes to Europe versus the United States as far as the code, the ratings code. The United States is very prudish, but you can blow someone up on camera, and in Europe, you can show all the parts and all the sex and all the things and all the activities, but you can't show any blood and you can't show any guns or weapons. Like, it's very rare to see any sort of explosions or blood or violence in European films.
I thought it was a pretty good movie. I don't know if I'll rewatch it again though, but it was. I thought Liv Tyler was good in it, and it was kind of interesting to see a film that she was, she was on the rise, of course, of stardom at this time. So yeah, good for her. It was a decent film. So yeah. All right, next. Speaking of some action films here, we got Eraser. Made just over $234 million in its original theatrical run. A witness protection specialist becomes suspicious of his coworkers when dealing with a case involving high-tech weapons. Directed by Chuck Russell, stars Arnold Schwarzenegger, Vanessa Williams, James Caan, Robert Pastorelli, and James Coburn. And it looks like we've got both the same Blu-ray there, Lacey. Look at that, showcasing that. There you go. Lacey's got hers there. I did the 2 DVD Blu-ray double feature thing there, so because I still had the DVD. So yeah,
this is one that I got on Blu-ray. I had it on VHS a million years ago, and I realized when we got ready to do this, I was like, oh, how do I not have Eraser? Like, I have all of the Arnold films. Like, how did I miss that one? So I just picked it up. It was like $8.
Cool,
brand new. So yeah,
Kyle, give us some trivia on Eraser.
I think this one is fascinating because of what it led to, but the John Kruger role was originally offered to Sylvester Stallone. He absolutely hated the script and turned down the offer, and instead decided to do Copland, which a lot of people consider one of his greatest dramatic roles. Like
1997 Copland, yes.
This film is also considered by many Schwarzenegger film fans to be the last good film of the classic Schwarzenegger period, which started in 1982 with the first Conan film. It was certainly the last of his action films that was a box office hit, excluding the Expendables film trilogy, which were more of an ensemble cast. The producers originally filmed a romantic ending, but it didn't test well with audiences. I am so glad they changed that.
I'm going to give a shout out to The Sixth Day. Maybe it wasn't very popular, but I felt that was the end of the Schwarzenegger good action films because I like that movie.
I liked End of Days too. Nobody likes End of Days. I like
End of Days is highly underrated. I think that's actually one of his most underrated films of all time.
Nintendo, you're absolutely right. The mobsters, especially when they're that scene on the docks and they're talking about union labor. And Robert Pastorelli in this film is actually my favorite part of the film, because they fake his death and then he goes to him for help later on. I love Robert Pastorelli in this film. I wanted more of Robert Pastorelli. I wish he would have returned more and they could have done like a Eraser 2. Absolutely right. I love the mob subplot scene in this. And this movie gets another little kind of, depending on who you talk to, it made news because of the big alligator CG fight scene in there. And it obviously looks dated now. A lot of people thought it was ahead of its time, but it kind of gets kind of teased a little bit about that scene. Do you know about this, Kyle?
Yeah. I mean, again, everybody thought, oh, this is gonna be amazing CGI, and at the time, people were kind of like blown away by it. Now it's just silly. It really is. It's so out there, and the CGI just does not age well at all. So it's silly. But Kevin, I have another major hot take for this film.
What's that?
Personally. This film wasn't about being a Schwarzenegger film. The whole idea of this film was to try to make Vanessa Williams a movie star.
I forget about that because it didn't really work.
No, it failed terribly. Vanessa Williams, of course, was coming off some hit albums and amazing music career. She wanted to go into acting. They team her up with Schwarzenegger. She's still one of the most beautiful women in the world at this point. And she was terrible in this movie.
I'm sorry.
Honest.
Just a quick question. Vanessa Williams is the woman who won Miss America or Miss Universe or something, and then had like a Playboy spread and then lost her crown.
I think it was Penthouse.
It was Penthouse. It was
okay. But she did a spread, and then.
But it wasn't that she did a Penthouse spread. It was Penthouse got some nude pictures of her and put them in the issue, which didn't disqualify her. She didn't volunteer to do a Penthouse spread. But that's where a lot of people were upset because they felt like she had done these pictures more to be an art kind of thing at the time when she was younger. Yeah. And then she got penalized for that.
I I just watched this film. I don't think she was bad in it at all.
She was rough. I think she was rough in it.
I don't know, when she goes into like the computer core thing and she has to like copy the files, and then she was smart and copied another file. I thought she was good in it. I didn't think her acting was bad.
But they didn't take her career off like they were expecting it to.
Yeah.
Well, I will say that one scene did remind me kind of. It felt like that was, I mean, because this was 1 month after the first Mission Impossible, right? So you have that scene where, Tom Cruise is down, doing the thing where he's floating over to get the thing, right? And then you've got this. And then 2 or 3 years later was the first Charlie's Angels movie where they had them breaking into the vault in like, do that. This kind of felt like a good happy medium to, it felt the most realistic of the three.
But I think Shintendo nails it. She had no chemistry with Arnold in this film.
Well, what kind of chemistry do you need with Arnold in this film? Especially if there was no like romantic lead to it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like, I mean, they had scenes together. She was on the run and stuff. But I don't think it was like, if there was a romantic interest, yeah, it might have been weird, but there wasn't any.
Well, I think that's the problem, is that every single one before that, even Commando, he had Radon Chong. Like most of his films were shoot 'em up, damsel in distress, kiss at the end. Yeah. Like that's the formula, and this didn't have that formula.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So
still a fun movie. I liked returning to it. I thought it was good.
Yeah, it was fun.
Okay. All right, guys, the next film we have here, I never saw originally, and we have 2 movies that have Demi Moore in it, and the next one is The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Wait, Kevin, hold on a sec, because I got to hit this. Danny DeVito had great chemistry with Arnold, according to Shin.
Nice.
I don't want to debate this, but I'm not a fan of twins. I'll be honest with you. So just not a fan. Yeah. Anyway, Hunchback of Notre Dame made over $325 million in its original theatrical run. A deformed bell ringer must assert his independence from a vicious government minister in order to help his friend, a gypsy dancer. Stars the voice talents of Demi Moore, Jason Alexander, Mary Kay Bergman, and Tom Hulce as Quasimodo, the voice. Kyle, give us some trivia for The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
So for the scene where Judge Frollo sings Hellfire and sees Esmeralda dancing in the fire before him, the Motion Picture Association insisted that Disney animators make Esmeralda's clothing more well-defined because she seemed nude. The opening musical number, The Bells of Notre Dame, is, according to Alan Menken, the best opening number he has ever written. Frollo is considered one of the darkest and most evil Disney villains, even more so than his original counterpart in the novel, while Disney Studios purposely meant for him to be as evil as possible in an attempt to avert the trope evil is cool, common to many Disney villains. Now, Kevin, I need to talk about this movie for a minute, because, and I think Lacey, I'm going to need your help here a little bit.
Okay.
This is a bizarre time for Disney in this aspect. They were coming off the early 90s with just on a heater with Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and The Lion King. Then they dropped Pocahontas in 1995. That was a little rough. They dropped it. Then they put out a Goofy movie, a cult classic. But then the Disney landscape changed drastically later in 1995 because this little studio called Pixar did Toy Story. And then when people saw they're doing The Hunchback of Notre Dame, people weren't really having high expectations for this film, and this film surprised everybody and blew everybody away. I think this is one of the best animated films Disney did in the 1990s.
Lacey, what are your thoughts on it? You were holding up the Blu-ray, by the way. Hold that up.
Yes, I have the 2 for the little double doodah. The
Blu-ray DVD double
yes
pack there. Yes.
3-disc combo pack.
Nice.
With commentaries and all kinds of crazy fun stuff. The commentary on the first film is fantastic. The second one did not have a commentary. The relevance in today's society with what's going on in the news with this film, the opening scene, the gypsy woman, Esmeralda's mother, is running to escape the bad guy, Frollo, and the priest like comes upon him and says, "How dare you?" And he says, "She ran. I pursued. I am justified." That's what we're dealing with right now. This is the French Revolution, y'all. Okay. This is what happened in the French Revolution. So this is, I think, more poignant now than it was in 96. Tom Hulce is an amazing actor, singer, all the things. Demi Moore, coming off of a few, I mean, she had her like big 80s stuff, right? And then she had a few like little things in the 90s. This was kind of coming into her like grabbing it by the balls kind of thing. She did this and then another film within like 3 months of each other. Total opposites. Showed that she had some good range. She could carry a movie on her own without, the Breakfast Club behind her, which was cool. And or the Rat Pack, not the Breakfast.
The Rat Pack.
Sorry, the Rat Pack. Yeah. So I thought this was good. The sequel, by the way, has Jennifer Love Hewitt plays the girl, and Quasi and Esmeralda come back as their characters. It was super sweet.
Shintendo says Demi was crushing the mid-90s. You're absolutely right. Mm-hmm. Absolutely right. Kyle, your thought, you already gave me your thoughts. Sorry about that. So I have never seen this film before, but it's on Disney Plus. So I watched it for the first time. And what's funny is I've been to Notre Dame several times, and right now they're in the wrap-up stage of repairing the famous fire that happened several years ago.
Yeah.
And it's coming along quite well. But I remember going inside of it, going around it, and when they were doing like some great overshots of this thing, I was trying to like say, did they have the mapping right? And I was looking at it like, okay, there's the river, blah blah blah, and I thought they did a pretty good job of showing what it was like back then during that time. Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed Tom Hulce as Quasimodo, but I got to tell you, I love Jason Alexander as one of the stone gargoyles that come to life. I love the gargoyles in this movie.
Yeah, they were great.
I didn't realize that was a thing. I really enjoyed that. And Demi Moore, of course, is the female lead and stuff. And yeah, the villain in this is really evil.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more over the top. And what's funny is if you let this play on Disney Plus, it goes right into the Hunchback and Notre Dame 2, which I didn't even know existed. and so I just kind of let it play, and then I'm like, oh, okay, Jennifer Love Hewitt. But it came out like in 2002, if I remember correctly, if I remember the date. But they had Demi Moore come back and reprise the role as the character, the voice of Esmeralda that she played in that. So I thought it was a pretty cool movie. I don't know if I'd rewatch it, but I love the animation. I thought it was done well. Kyle.
Just to add to this too, this started kind of a run where we were talking about the villain being a lot more hardcore. If you go to the Clayton character in Tarzan, he's pretty hardcore too, and his death in Tarzan is pretty dark for you.
George C. Scott as the villain in The Rescuers Down Under is still like pretty bad.
Oh yeah.
I have a theory on that though. I feel like with Hunchback, Pocahontas, Tarzan, these are based in reality more than fantasy. Like Beauty and the Beast is fantasy, Little Mermaid is fantasy, Aladdin is fantasy, you got a genie. Snow White, even the older stuff, Snow White, that was all fantasy. Like these 3 or 4, I can't remember which one I'm missing, but there were 3 or 4 that were based in kind of reality, right? I mean, granted, we don't normally have singing gargoyles and monkeys or apes and stuff like that, but these were based in reality. So I think what they ended up doing is they took the history of it to make it as not real, but as
okay,
like valid. Like they validated the bad guys more.
Yeah. The other 2 films that were big Disney films that came out around the same time, a couple years later, you had Hercules and Mulan.
Both based in fantasy, both based in myth. Yeah.
Shintendo says Treasure Planet ain't, but it's underrated. I need to return to that.
That's a good movie. I enjoy Treasure Planet.
Love Treasure Planet. Yep.
Yeah, I got to return to that. All right, guys. The next film here is a movie I didn't know anything about. I don't remember it until I was, searching movies for 1996, especially this month. But my wife, Erin, she knew of it, and that is Lone Star. Looks like you got the DVD there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Very cool.
This is the Criterion collection.
Okay, very cool. Nice. Hold on, let me highlight that real quick there. Show that there. Very cool. Underrated film here, I have to say. Just made under $13 million in its original theatrical run. When the skeleton of his murdered predecessor is found, Sheriff Sam Deeds unearths many other long-buried secrets in his Texas border town. Directed by John Sayles. Stars Chris Cooper, Elizabeth Pena, Stephen Mandillo, and also Matthew McConaughey and Chris Christopherson. Now, this movie surprised me. I watched it, and I really liked how it was setting up with flashbacks, because Matthew McConaughey is playing one of the characters in a flashback, and Chris Christopherson is as well. And Chris Christopherson is showcasing that he is a villain in this, basically, in the past. And you're like, and the way they're doing the flashbacks back and forth, it's kind of messing with you a little bit. And kind of misleading you, and so you're not sure exactly. You're thinking, okay, this person killed that person, but there was something else. And I gotta tell you, Chris Cooper was really good in this film, because he's the one that's doing the current day investigation, and he's running into people not wanting to talk about things and blah blah blah. But Kyle, give us some trivia on this film.
Well, you guys talked about being kind of surprised by this film. Well, a couple of our favorite reviewers love this film. It was number 4 on Roger Ebert's list of best films of '96, and it was number 5 on Gene Siskel's list of best films of '96. I think they gave it 2 thumbs up. So the story was chosen by Time Magazine as one of the best of film of 1996 at position number 4 in their year-end review issue dated December 23rd, 1996, included among the 1001 films you must see before you die. One of the 2 1996 releases starring both Matthew McConaughey and Chris Cooper, with the other film being A Time to Kill. Guys, I'm going to say this right now. I had never heard of this movie until this podcast.
Yeah, it's one of those that has fallen underneath the radar. I'm happy that it got the Criterion release that you were showing there, Lacey.
Yeah.
Nintendo says Chris Christopherson can read the phone book and make it compelling. You are not wrong.
Yeah.
But what is the? I didn't know this was on Criterion. It's hard to find on DVD. I'll be honest with you. I found it streaming somewhere for free. I just can't remember where it was.
So there's a conversation between Sayles and Gregory Nava. There's a couple of new interviews. Not a lot of extra, but the 4K restoration on this is beautiful. I watched it on the big screen, and it really is stunning.
When Lacey says big screen, she means big.
Yeah,
it's not that. I mean, it's okay. It's nice. I think.
Your thoughts on the film?
Okay, so John Sayles, not someone that I watch normally. He does a lot of like heavy drama. I'm not really a drama person. His films are beautiful, but you might remember him. He directed Brother from Another Planet. Sorry, with Joe Morton, which and Joe Morton is in this as well. He's known for reusing actors. Like a lot of his background and character actors or smaller roles are in several films, if not all of them. He did a lot of Bruce Springsteen music videos. That's kind of where he got noticed. And so I think that his visuals are fantastic. I think he does a lot of okay. So as far as the acting goes, I love Matthew McConaughey in this. This is one of his early films. He was not, you see on the picture you've got here, it's he's kind of the largest face on the screen or on the photo. But he was this came out just before Time to Kill. So he wasn't like a household name for another like 3 weeks.
The biggest film he did was like Dazed and Confused prior, I think, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of people didn't recognize him though, because in that he had the long blonde fuzzy hair.
Right.
All right. And so this was, he didn't have that kind of accent, or he wasn't like hamming it up. This is a very straight role for him. I remember I saw this in the theater. I remember seeing this at Phipps Plaza, like in the theater.
One of the few who did, apparently. But yeah, I highly recommend this film. It's a great kind of crime whodunit. And Nintendo says he was in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the movie 2 before. So yeah,
correct. I think he was in the 4th one with Renee Zellweger. There's a picture of a lipstick on the cover, and I want to say it was like 94. So he wasn't. I don't think that he was like a big name, but was that 94? No. I think.
I can't remember, but anyway, yeah. Kyle, make a point to see this. It's a really, really
good film. I definitely will.
It's streaming somewhere. I just can't remember where I watched it.
It's very dramatic, and I will say I do take. You have to not trigger warning, but there's a lot of language in it that is not appropriate for today. There's a lot of it's a Mexican town where 19 out of 20 people in the town, 19 out of every 20 people is of Mexican heritage, and there's a lot of very disgruntled white folk who say lots of negative things that you can't say today.
This is true.
So just be forewarned if that's something you do not.
All right.
Yeah.
Next film we got is The Nutty Professor, made over $273 million in its original theatrical run. Grossly overweight yet good-hearted Professor Sherman Clump takes a special chemical that turns him into a slim but obnoxious buddy love. Director is Tom Shadyac. Stars, of course, Eddie Murphy, Jada Pinkett Smith, James Coburn. Kyle, give us some trivia on The Nutty Professor.
Oh, no. I have taken my serum. I am now Kevin Love.
You can't be Kevin Love. I'm Kevin Love. You're Kyle Love. Come on.
I got to be a little obnoxious here. So,
to be fair, in both shows, both films, it was buddy love.
Yeah, so we know. We're landlords. Here's the crazy thing. There's a piece of trivia that if this trivia actually were to have gone through, this film has nowhere near the cultural impact it did, because the family scene was nearly cut out of the final film due to the lack of relevance with the film's plot, but the Clump family turned out to be one of the most popular elements of the film, so much that the Clumps got a greatly expanded presence in the sequel Nutty Professor 2, The Clumps.
Now, to stop you there real quick, Kyle, we're holding up our physical media. I have my DVD of The Nutty Professor 1 and 2, and Lacey's got The Nutty Professor and the original Nutty Professor with Jerry Lewis. There you go.
And that's important, Kevin, because the next piece of trivia is Eddie Murphy handed Jerry Lewis the Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Oscar. He said before handing it to him, from one Nutty Professor to another.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Lacey, give me your thoughts on The Nutty Professor.
The original was the dorky guy who needed to be suave, right? It was more of like a lady killer kind of thing. This one is the obese man who feels like he can't be loved unless he loses weight. Which one do you think I like better?
I'm going to go with the Jerry Lewis one.
This movie, kind of like the Farrelly Brothers one, Shallow Hal, I feel like there was a time where the overweight person who suddenly becomes thin or is seen a different way, all of a sudden it makes them more valuable than they are as an overweight person. And as someone who has struggled with my weight for a very, very long time, this is a shitty movie. Pardon my French.
Not a fan. Right.
It's just, I mean, some of the stuff is funny, but most of it is just very angry and negative towards heavy people. And I don't like that. This awesome 4K.
You're referring to the Jerry Lewis version.
The Jerry Lewis version. They did a 4K release of it. And there are some fantastic interviews. See the original. Did you know that Jerry Lewis invented and patented picture assist for film cameras?
I don't know what that means.
That means that when you film a shot, you have a monitor off to the side where you can watch it immediately. They didn't have that before the original 1963 film.
Well, Nintendo agrees with you, says Jerry Lewis is better. I do remember the Jerry Lewis version's one.
Mm-hmm.
And Nintendo also says later Eddie Murphy movies don't hold up.
Mm.
Go ahead, Kyle.
I just want to say we were hitting this weird time with Eddie Murphy where he's starting to do like these family, he interpreted as family kind of films. But this movie gave Eddie Murphy two things he absolutely loved. Getting to wear a makeup outfit and getting to play multiple different characters in a movie. This is an Eddie Murphy thing. He has always loved this. I mean, you go back to Coming to America, where he played a white man in Coming to America very convincingly, I might add.
Jewish man.
Yeah. He played a white man in this.
Yeah,
that's right. He did.
So, I mean, this is Eddie Murphy just basically, somebody gave him a check to say, go do your thing, Eddie. We're going to let you do your favorite things. And I understand where Lacey's coming from. I do think it has a good message at the end of it.
Yeah.
I think because of the clumps and how they became a little bit of a cultural phenomenon there for a few years, this movie has a place. But I mean, again, this is just a weird time in Eddie Murphy's career as he's transitioning into a different aspect of his career. And I think this is kind of the start of that, Kevin.
I'm sorry, but when I was watching the clumps, all I could think of is Jack Black's character from Tropic Thunder making fun of it.
Yeah.
Baddies Part 2, Fart 2, or whatever it was, you know. Yep. The humor in this is definitely dated, and it's the unattractive person wanting to become attractive, and whatever version that you want to put it in and stuff. The scene that I remember that stood out for me though was the one where he gets made fun of by a young Dave Chappelle character, and then when he comes back is what is it, Buddy Love? Is that who it is?
Yeah.
Then it turns into the mama jokes, and stuff like that. But it is definitely dated. I don't know if it's a movie I would watch over again. It had its moments. It's definitely. I don't think it's aged well, to be honest with you, just because of the humor in it and stuff like that. But I did find myself laughing a few times. Then Eddie goes on and he does the what's the doctor that talks to animals?
Doolittle.
Yeah, he does the Doolittle stuff. And then did he do some other ones too? It was like supposed to be kind of family oriented. I can't remember.
Well, he found Jesus in like 94. And then all of a sudden everything had to be very family friendly, which look, I'm not a religious person, but I would never fault him for finding religion. But I do think that there was it was like he hit a stop sign, right? Because up until this, like all of a sudden it was like you couldn't get through 3 sentences without 7 F-bombs, right? Like he was, you go back to his old stand-up and everything, and then you see some of these. Haunted Mansion was one of them, I think.
That's right.
Yeah. But it became something that was all of a sudden it was like, whoa. And a lot of people were like, oh, Eddie Murphy sold out. Like they thought that he went to Disney and then became like a Disney whatever. And so it wasn't until he did that interview on, was it Letterman or Leno, where he was like, I found Jesus Christ. I no longer am comfortable making the type of movies I used to make. Right. Which is a valid. Like I'm not telling anybody not to do that. But a lot of people were very kind of confounded by his
okay, I'm going to defend this one. Here. Shintendo says Pluto Nash, though. I like Pluto Nash. I might be the only person on the planet that likes Pluto Nash, but I'm going to defend it. I like that movie. I'll even podcast about that one day.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
Oh my God. Yeah. It was one of those, it was like, it cost way too much money. And then it got bad press before it ever released. And then like no one went to go see it when it did it. I bought a DVD copy from cheap from Blockbuster, and I went and watched it. And I was laughing my ass off. I thought it was so funny.
Lindsay, most people consider it Eddie Murphy's biggest bomb of his career.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. What's funny is I haven't seen a lot of people. Like a lot of people badmouth Pluto Nash that haven't even seen it.
As Nintendo did destroy a whole film company.
Yeah. I did love him in Bowfinger, though. He was very
great in Bowfinger. I recently watched that. My wife likes that movie too. That's a good movie. Yeah. All right, so I told you guys as we come to our last film here for June of 1996 to discuss, there was 2 movies that Demi Moore was in June of 1996. And the one I'm going to bring to the stage here is Striptease. Made just over $113 million in its original theatrical release. Looks like we have both the same Striptease DVD there, Lacey, because I don't think they've released this on Blu-ray.
No, but someone's going to do a 4K of it sometime soon. Well, you can't put that much Vaseline on Burt Reynolds and not do a 4K of this.
I know, right? I mean, especially since it's celebrating his 30th anniversary. Striptease, a stripper and single mother get dragged into a dangerous situation after a congressman takes a fancy to her. Directed by Andrew Bergman, stars Demi Moore, Burt Reynolds, Armand Assante, Ving Rhames, Robert Patrick, and a young Rumor Willis. Kyle, give us some trivia on the Striptease.
So Demi Moore was called back to reshoot some scenes, but had to wear a wig since she had already shaved her head for G.I. Jane. Her record-breaking fee of $12.5 million was made possible after a bidding war ensued between the producers of this film and the producers of G.I. Jane, each wanted her to star in their film first. The two executives behind Striptease won when they offered more money of the two. Actress Jennifer Tilly once defended Demi Moore in an interview after Moore received flack about her nudity in this film. Tilly inferred that the actresses who slammed Moore were hypocrites. Most of the women you hear running down Demi Moore have done nude scenes or sex scenes. It was also been noted that a majority of Best Actress Oscar winners since 1970 have appeared nude on screen in some of them multiple times.
Shintendo says that movie is actually underrated. It actually has a lot of heart and comedy in the cast. I would agree with that. Kyle.
Yeah, I would agree with Shintendo. The thing about this movie is two things. Obviously, Demi made history. Well, no.
Kyle said it. Two things.
But no, and also, I mean, Demi looked fabulous. Let's not. I mean,
well, she was showing off two brand new things, so yeah.
But she owned this role too, and I think she took this role and made it something more than what it could have, what it was intentionally meant to be, and I think she came across very well in this film. The other big thing out of this, though, is it did start the Burt Reynolds renaissance, because you get Boogie Nights shortly after this. So that's a very important film, because, I mean, Burt was kind of in purgatory, and this film really brought him back to a bunch of audiences. And I think those are the two big things, is Demi Moore's performance in this and how she carried herself in this.
Mm-hmm.
And when I talk about that, I talk about it, how she promoted this film, how she interviewed. She took no shame in this at all. And she stood proud for this. And like I said, it started that Burt Reynolds renaissance.
Ving Rhames was good in this too. It was one of the things that stood out for me. But yeah, that scene with Burt Reynolds all in the Vaseline, how he likes the squishiness in his
yes.
His boots. Lacey, your thoughts on Striptease?
I dug it. I think that it's not Showgirls, but that's
because Showgirls is a masterpiece.
Oh, right. Is yours the one? Do you have the unrated international version?
Yeah, that's what it says at the bottom. I think it says unrated international version contains footage not seen theatrically in North America. So
yeah, so I don't know what was supposedly, because I can't remember. I know I saw it in the theaters. I know I saw it in the theaters.
There was at least two actresses that I remember that were strippers in this movie that were also in Showgirls, by the way.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah.
Right on. I loved Ving Rhames' character in this. Ving Rhames is awesome. What's Terminator 2? Robert Patrick. He was so sleazy. Like, he was such a sleazeball. This is every single character is an iconic character. Like, every single character is a traditional, like, you got the stripper with a heart of gold. You've got the mom and the mother and father arguing over the custody. You've got the father is a criminal. You've got the skeezy politician. You've got the people behind the scenes with the politician being bad. Like, you got it's kind of got all of those archetypal characters, but it works, and I dig that. And I gotta tell you, if I looked like this, you would see a picture of me like this. She's absolutely stunning. And to think that she went from this to G.I. Jane, and then, what was it, 10, 12 years later, she did, she was in the sequel to Charlie's Angels, where she was, like, stunningly beautiful. Like, this woman does not age. She's absolutely stunning.
Yeah, I enjoyed this movie. I remember seeing it originally, but I haven't watched it in a long time. I didn't own it, and then I realized, and then I picked it up on DVD somewhere, probably a thrift store or something.
Full throttle,
I enjoyed it. I thought, the plot wasn't like too complicated, but there was a lot to it. There's some good characters in it. You sympathized for her dealing with an asshole ex, and having the daughter take away, and she having to, get a job, and the legal system that was, messing with her and everything. So, yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I thought she was good in it. But yeah, Burt Reynolds in this movie was great.
And it had like the backwoods, the lawyer or the judge that was bought off because all that kind of stuff. And then on top of it, fantastic scene when the snake dies and they have to give the stripper a different snake, and then the snake's not trained, and so it tries to choke her on stage, which is the funniest part of the movie. That's fantastic.
All right, guys. Well, let's go ahead and wrap things up. So, Kyle, there's a few of these films you have not seen. Is there any that it piqued the interest after Lacey and I talked them up?
I got to go see that the Western with Chris
Lone Star.
Lone Star. I'll definitely have to see that one. I mean, we talked about it off mic. This is not a packed month of movies, but the movies that are in it are really damn good or really important for one reason or the other.
Right. Right. Yeah. You know, it's funny, and give me your final thoughts on this, guys, but there wasn't a whole lot of films that came out. It wasn't like a huge list of movies, but there was definitely big movies that came out for June of 1996. Right, Lacey?
Mm-hmm. Yes. I'm looking at my list. I gotta say, we had some solid. I mean, that was a good action month. I mean, we had, Phantom, Rock, and Eraser. That's Connery, Cage, Super Hot Billy Zane, and Arnold. Like, that's a solid month for action. Yeah. Definitely.
I remember this month well. I remember going to see pretty much most of these movies except for Stealing Beauty. I don't remember that one at all. But I was definitely in the theaters for these. The Phantom, I don't know if I saw that. I think I did. I think I saw it in the theater originally. But I didn't return to it till years later. So, yeah. Kyle, yes, Lacey.
I probably saw this 10 times in the movie theater. The Phantom.
Nice.
I loved it.
Well, guys, that was your final thoughts here. This, of course, is Time Warp June 1996. But guess what, guys? We're not done with 1996 because next episode is July. We've got some interesting ones here. We got Independence Day. We've got Frighteners, Time to Kill, Kingpin, Multiplicity, Super Cop, just to name a few. And I'm going to show up. I got some that I'm getting ready to watch right here, including Kazam. Remember Kazam? I can't remember if that was next month or coming out, but I got this new 4K release of Super Cop, otherwise known as Police Story 3. Has both a Blu-ray and a 4K disc in there as well. So I'm looking forward to returning to that.
Right on.
So July, got some fun stuff coming up there, guys. So again, if you're watching this live, please check out the QR code there, guys. And it'll take you to our website with all of our awesome audio podcast on the Fandom Podcast Network. And we can be found, of course, on Facebook, Blue Sky, Instagram, and X. You can also find us, go to TeePublic, get this cool Time Warp shirt that I have here. We get a little kickback of this. You can also find other great shows on the Fandom Podcast Network. Just search Fandom Podcast Network on TeePublic. We would appreciate that very, very much. Get cool hats and shirts and other apparel as well. This, of course, is Time Warp, the Fandom Flashback Show. Lacey, thank you so much for joining us. You're on Letterboxd still, right?
I am on the Letterboxd. And I'm in real life. So
Lacey Pants, right?
Nintendo, you should go to the Huntsville Pop Culture Expo next year. I think it's in April every year. It's down at the VBC. So check it out.
Nintendo, thank you so much for checking in with us. Yeah, we're glad that we were here for you today.
Yeah, we might have to give Nintendo co-hosting credit for this episode.
I know, right? Yeah, that's some good knowledge. Kyle, where can we find you, sir?
I don't even know where I can find me these days. All kidding aside, of course, you can find me all over the Fandom Podcast Network, all of our great pages on Facebook, our Twitter account, our Blue Sky account. If you want to find me personally, you can find me on Facebook as Kyle Wagner. Shoot me a friend invite. Always glad to have some new friends. You can also find me on X at AKyleW. You can find me on Blue Sky at AKyleW, and you can find me on Instagram and Threads at AKyleFandom.
You can find me. I'm Kevin. You can find me on Facebook, of course, and also on all of the socials at Spartan_Phoenix. That includes, of course, Instagram, X, Discord, as well as Letterboxd, Blue Sky as well. So check me out there. And make sure you check out the Fandom Podcast Network. If you are watching this, please subscribe to us. Give us a like and a subscribe. We appreciate that. Nintendo, thank you very much. And who's the other lady that joined us?
Jody.
Thank you, Jody, for joining us. We really appreciate that. Joining us live here on the Fandom Podcast Network for Time Warp June 1996. We will see you next month for July. And we hope you guys had fun, and we'll see you next time for July. Time Warp. Thank you guys very much. Thank you for joining us. We will see you next month.